Where are the others? We can't have a quorum with two. Okay, people are joining. And post here is so does everyone has access to the sheet? Can you see this? Is the sheet visible?
Yes, sir.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, actually now I'm tied up a little up till 5 o'clock. After five. Yeah. 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 So he was asking me to take a call for everyone to explain that sheet. So maybe we will do a call. You're done? Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 Are you here till 5? 5 o'clock. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sorry guys. So, there were certain keywords that we learned about project management. Can all of you open a sheet? Uh, you know, I, though you can see the sheet on the screen, but I want you to open it locally, whatever device you are on. Oh, I got disconnected. No, sorry. Yes, Mohit, Monica, Brunalini, Shubham. What happened to Omkar? Where did he go? Uh, you have the link for the sheet, right? Otherwise, I'll paste it again. And you've already
So
been.
can you paste it?
Yeah, I'll paste it. It is there in the invite link also. So if you see here in the bottom, I have given the sheet link. You might get some background noise because it started raining heavily. Oh, Monica also dropped. Where is the forum? There were. Has everyone opened the sheet? I see only one person because there's a when other people are there on the sheet. Google indicates it here. So Shubham, so Mohit, please open the sheet. I've given the link as well. Yeah.
Well, sir,
Uh,
on WhatsApp, sir.
I have given you a link in the chat window, and it was also
Mail.
there in the invite. Can you open the sheet?
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to write down the keywords that we have done in the project management definition as part of the introduction, because that is very important. That we should not forget. Yes, correct. Unique is correct. Um,
Sir,
yes, you were asking something.
I know project manager.
What is the question, Shubham?
Sir,
Can somebody
uh,
say what is TCS?
so the
Anyone can say what is TCS?
Time, cost, scope.
Okay, good. So, what is the important characteristic that starts with these letters?
Temporary?
Yeah. Okay, what is the second word after temporary? There is a temporary endeavor. So can
Oh
somebody
yes,
complete?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah, yeah. Complete this then. So, so Vidya, why did you join with your personal Gmail? Vidya, you joined with your personal ID.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You should join with SIMMC.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and Shivam, you too. You joined with a personal Gmail ID. Don't do that. Use SMMC.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Omkar is back. So, Omkar, we are on the sheet and we are. Complete this word, somebody. I just spoke it out. So, this is. We are doing a recap. So, recap has to be a little better. Because yesterday itself we did a recap because we were starting the classes after a break. And now I'm doing a recap of yesterday. Okay, that's good. Uh, Monica, yeah, can you mute? Yeah. What else is there about the project management? Can you, sorry, complete this word with the G? Can somebody complete this? This is another characteristic of a project. And then there is another keyword starting with O. What is
One
should
organization.
no, can you repeat?
One organization.
Yes, yes, that's correct. So you can complete that. What about the G? What begins with G? Yes, that's right. Okay, so now we can proceed ahead. But so some of these things, they are pretty permanent. It, it won't change from time to time. So better write it down in your DNA. There are certain things, the every time you respond to it, the content can get changed. It will change with the perspective. But this is not something that depends upon a perspective. This is like, no, it's not optimized. It's own organization.
Independent task.
Yeah, though that's a minor characteristic, but yes, it has sequence of tasks. Okay, so now I'll open the presentation. We'll be starting with the scope management. Did I right here? Yeah. Okay. So can everyone put the thing GA out here? Just two letters. Monica has done. Mohit, Brunalini, Shivam, Omkar, Vidyash, and Shubham. Put a GA in the chat window.
Okay.
Yeah, I require this in every class. So do it without my asking as soon as you join. This is, this works as a backup for the attendance as well. I take attendance through this third-party plugin. So I'll just show you how this looks. I'll be so here it is showing me the uh, backup.
Sir, I'm opting for mobile. The sheet is not okay, sir. Just
Uh,
I'm
no, can you repeat? I missed your voice was breaking.
sir, I was operating from my mobile, so it is not opening the two things at one time. So,
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, mobile might. I'm not sure how to solve that problem. But what you should do is you should try and Google the problem and then resolve it over a
oh,
then
yes, sir, I will do it, sir.
yeah,
And next lecture, I will do it.
yeah. So uh, we are done with this, and now we'll go to the scope management. Right, show beginning. Okay, plain and simple. Scope is the definition of work that the project team is going to give to the client or user. In some cases, it is not a client. Can you suggest in what cases there might be projects, but the project is not being delivered to a client or a customer? So, project doesn't always mean that it is a private company which is charging for the work and then doing the work. We have seen examples of public sector projects. We have seen there can be projects in the social sector. So, can you give me examples where it is not a client? It's important because that is related to the definition of a project. Otherwise, the definition is not clear. Examples when
For an NGO,
okay, project is not for client. Okay, what else?
The government projects.
Which projects? Government projects. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The dams and the
Public sector.
all of that.
Okay. So any example of this? Government projects?
So dams, roads,
Contract work.
metros.
Okay.
Contractors. Business.
Okay. Infrastructure. I would say infra. Okay. Anything else? Anything in the social domain where there's no money involved? Because in case of or there's no direct money involved. Something in. You suggest something.
No idea, sir.
Okay. Marriage? Ceremony?
Oh, yes.
It's a project. I mean, nobody calls it a project, but you can draw parallels. Okay. So coming back to this. So, in layman's term, the scope is the work delivered or to be delivered as part of the project for the client or the user. So I wanted to differentiate between the client and the user. So when it is the user is not paying for it, then he is not a client. Sometimes indirectly he or she can be a client. See, for example, uh, if you extend the look at it in this way that uh, collectively who gives power to the government? It is the citizens who give it. So in a way, when they are getting an infrastructure project, they are the ones who have appointed the government. So in a roundabout way, they are a client. Okay. So can somebody volunteer to read this out? Any volunteer?
The term scope can refer to product scope, the features and functions that characterize a product, service, or result. Project scope, the work performed to deliver a product, service, or result with the specified features and functions.
Yeah, go ahead. Full slide you can read.
Project scope usually includes product scopes, requirement, a condition, or capability that is required to be present in a product, service, or result.
Okay. One second. Just let me go to the next slide just to verify that this thing is getting over here. Yes, it's getting over. So uh, now a scope is the definition of the work that is delivered under the project or to be delivered, and a scope is defined through a scope statement at the start, upfront, even before the execution happens, and there has to be an agreement on the project scope. If the agreement is not arrived at the scope, what can happen is over a course of time, the customer or somebody else, one of the or some other stakeholder, they can change the scope. And if there has not been an agreement in the scope statement, it can result in additional cost because of the change in the scope, so which will create unplanned activities. So when we look at the failures, reasons of failure of the project, scope creep is one of the biggest reasons for a failure. Okay, so project scope can include product or services. So can you give me examples of a product scope? Any product that you see. So any feature that has been feature. and function that is there, that is a scope of the project. So let's take an example of scope of product. So list a product, any product. Okay, I'll give 1, 2, 3 products can be listed. Anyone can list 3 products. And then here you can say the name of the product and give the feature 1, 2 features for the product. Okay. So how many are we in the class? So we have 7. So it should be possible to get at least 3 products. We'll start from the bottom. Vidya, whosoever can edit this sheet. How many are there on the sheet? Only one person is there. Why? Only Mrunalini. What happened to the others? Mohit, can you come to the sheet? I've given you the link. Link is here. This is the link. Can you see the link in the chat window? Can you click that? And then uh, Monica,
Yes, sir.
yeah, please come to the sheet.
No, sir. Actually, I have opened through my mobile, sir. It is not opening at a time. To
Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, I yeah. Okay, products are there. Mobile phone. Okay, I think let's proceed with the 3 volunteers here. But those who are on the mobile, try to figure it out how to open the sheet. I normally don't use a mobile for the Google Meet, so I don't have experience. Can you give me a specific mobile phone and a specific car, not a generic thing? Any car that you're familiar with. And again, one more. Aviation. Aviation is like aeroplane. Uh, you might take a, in case of aeroplane, let it be generic.
Sir, can you give one example, sir?
Example of mobile phone. What is it?
No, sir. Like
Okay,
glass product, like I want to give.
okay. See, okay. This is mobile is OnePlus. So what was OnePlus
Yeah,
7
yeah,
is
okay.
the latest thing. I mean, or OnePlus 8. OnePlus 7, right?
Yeah,
So I'm not going into the variants of OnePlus 7, but okay. We'll take very simple examples. So,
okay.
what kind of camera does it have?
Yes,
You know,
sir, I know one feature of it. It has a 8 GB RAM, I think.
okay, 48 megapixel camera, correct. It
8 GB
looks like
RAM.
that, yeah. 8 GB RAM, yeah, something around that. So, so the car. Let us say what Nexon. Give me some features of Nexon. So the feature doesn't have to be unique because we are just doing an example out here. Give me some features of Nexon. So next one has driving modes. Okay, what else is there? Actually, yes. Oh, somebody has overwritten. Oh, okay. But whenever you're typing, just take care that don't overwrite. That's okay. So another product. What we take? You want to take a laptop? Uh, what product do you want to choose? So laptop. Then laptop. What do you want? You know, what is the Apple's laptop called? Mac something?
Mac, yes.
What is the full name?
MacBook Pro, something like that, sir.
MacBook, yes. MacBook Pro. What are the features? I think it has got some battery life of some 12 hours or 16 hours, something like. And then I think it has, if you connect it to a TV, I think it has got a capability of 6K, I think. Display. I'm not, I may be wrong, but something close to that.
Yes, sir. It's okay.
Yeah. So this is the scope of the products, and there will be hundreds of such features. Uh, but the thing is, if at the beginning, when the product is being manufactured and designed, if the scope is not identified, then it is difficult to execute the manufacturing process. Okay,
Okay.
we have seen project scope, so you can, I've given you the layman's language for the project scope, but you can try and uh, uh, you can try and remember this definition for the purpose of exam, or for the purpose of interview. So whatever you do, whatever you learn, um, it has to be both for the exam as well as for the interview. So
Okay, sir.
the reason why it can be the interview is, uh, if the panel that comes to the campus, if one of them has got a project management background, if he or she is a project manager, rather than looking at the subjects that you have studied, he or she may ask questions from his or her background. So always place in front of you an imaginary person who's a panel for the interview, and see, if you were to be asking the question, how would you reply to that? Okay. And a lot of times the questions might be applied the way I'm asking you to do through the sheet. Okay. Requirement. So from the scope, a requirement is derived. And just give me 1 minute, because they have called all the teachers at the reception. Just let me go and have a look at that, and I'll be back. Don't leave
Okay,
the
sir.
lecture. Stay there.
Yes, sir.
सर ने स्लाइड शेयर किया है क्या?
काय शुभम?
हॅलो मोनिका. सरनी स्लाइड शेअर केल्यात का जीमेल वरती?
नाही
प्रेझेंटेशन
अजून
शेअर
तरी नाही. नाही.
म्हणजे आतापर्यंत
Okay,
काय?
I'm back. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You asking about the slides or something?
Yeah,
You wanted this?
yes, sir. I want to.
I think I see. I'll just show you. I had this uploaded. I'll tell you where, and I had shared it from my Suradatta dot
Okay,
edu.in.
sir. Yes, sir. I will check that mail.
1 second. But what I'm
Okay.
1 second.
It's okay, sir. No, I will check it.
Okay. This was P4. So this is the repository. We have kept all the, as a folder. I have organized it. But what I'm going to do
Sir,
is, it should be shared. Uh, Let me see if it is not shared. Okay. Uh, well, I'll share that, and but what you should be referring is the classroom. So I have started adding every topic out here. So for each topic, I'll add the corresponding deck out here. No, no, not this one.
Okay,
So,
sir. Okay.
uh, everyone has joined the classroom, and I think they have joined it before the break
Yes,
time.
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So uh, let's take one example of a requirement, just one example for clarity. So so a feature will always be mapped to a requirement. Sometimes it might be just a, uh, restatement or paraphrasing, but sometimes it could be different. User or driver, I would say, in case of a car. I'm talking about the car. Driver should be able to drive without gears engagement. The transmission engine gearbox will provide auto gear change functionality. So this is the way a feature is rewritten into a requirement. And how many of you have formed a team? I had asked for the team formation project manager.
So we have formed the team. I just haven't uploaded our names.
Okay, when will you do that?
Just after the lecture.
Okay. What about the others? Uh, who all have formed a team out here? Can you just indicate to me in the chat window? Just say. Uh, just say yes or no.
So,
Mohit, Monica, Mrunalini, Onkar, Shubham,
uh,
Vidya. Just say yes or no whether you are there in a team or
sir,
not. Okay.
I don't know my team, sir. I just came today, sir.
Okay. So you have to
Can you
go back
also, sir?
and you have to form a team.
Sir, I've messaged my
Yes.
team along with the members.
Yes. Okay. Fine. So four of you are there. Good.
Yes, sir.
So I think 22 more have to join some team or the other. Uh, but I am waiting for the updates from um, Vidya. Vidya, what is your status? Monica, what is your status for the team?
So I wasn't there yesterday, so I don't know what I have to do.
Okay. So will you form the teams today?
Monica, can
I will upload, sir,
Okay.
after.
Back to the presentation. Okay. So now now the material in this going forward is based upon a book called PMBOK, which is spelled as PMBOK. No, it was here. This is I'm using it like a whiteboard. Okay, I'll scroll down. So PMBOK means Project Management Book of Knowledge, and this has been published by PMI. I'll zoom in a little bit more because I'm not writing much. It's the Project Management Institute is the body which establishes standards of project
Sir,
management.
there are two.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sir, there
Yes.
are two
You were
in
saying?
no, sir. They are. Yes, sir.
No, I could not get you. There are two.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll
Two
write.
institutes working on project management, sir, like about law, all
No,
procedure.
no. There can be multiple institutes. There can be 10 institutes or 100 institutes. But PMI, the
Okay.
Project Management Institute, is the biggest and a very dominant
Yes,
and
sir.
the de facto standard. And this
Okay.
book is a PDF which is available online, free. Uh, and the way we follow this, the structure out here is uh,
Okay.
there is a. Okay, I'll open the. This was shared a long time back. I'm going to share this again. Uh, or I'll open the next. I'm going to zoom in. So the PIM box says that there are different knowledge areas in a project. So we right now are looking at scope management. So similarly, there's a time management which has been renamed to schedule management, and then there's a cost management, quality management. HR has been renamed to resource communication management, and risk management, procurement management, stakeholder management. Uh, Now, for each of these knowledge areas, there are processes. So, for example, in the integration management, uh, there is a process called uh, develop project charter. Develop means write or define project charter. Develop project management plan. So, after the y-axis or the first column here, there are there's a list of the processes for the corresponding knowledge areas. So we are now looking at the processes which are there under scope management. So for each project area, what I'm going to do is, did I share this? No. Though it is was shared a long time back on the WhatsApp, and I'm going to do it again. I'll put it up in the classroom as well. So
Okay, sir.
Received.
yeah, in the individual cells of this particular table, all the processes are listed. There will be slight variation because this is an old chart. So when we go along, the way the PMBOK is structured, the book PMBOK is first the process is defined, then it tells us what are the inputs required to execute that process. Then it defines what are the tools and techniques required to execute that process, and then it defines what is the output of that process. So, one second. So there's a definition, and then there's a ITTO. So ITTO stands for inputs. This thing should be by hearted by you, even though it is not. I'm not going to ask you in the exam, but you should remember this acronym: input, tools, techniques. This is a simple one, so I don't think I should be, making a slide on this. But if you look at the PMBOK, you will definitely find ITTO, and uh, uh, the individual slides have the headers, inputs or tools or techniques or outputs. But I'm going to look only at the definition. I'm not going to, sorry. So this is about the area, knowledge area project scope management, which is about defining what work is required, what work will be delivered. Okay, can somebody volunteer to read this?
Yes, Monica, are you
Requirement
reading?
Requirements traceability matrix, a grid that links product requirements from their origin to the deliverables that satisfy them. Work breakdown structure, a hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work. Work breakdown structure dictionary, a document that provides detailed deliverable activity and scheduling information about each component in the WBS. Scope baseline, the approved version of scope statement WBS and its associated WBS dictionary. Scope creep, the uncontrolled expansion to product or project scope without adjustment to time, cost, and resources.
Okay. So I'm not covering the requirements traceability metrics (RTM) here, but I'll give you a simple example, and I'll copy the same example. And this was automatic gears or AMT. I'll call AMT now, and now more than one requirements can originate from a particular feature. So the other requirement is it should allow shift to manual mode. So here I'll have some kind of marker indicating linkage to the particular requirement, showing a mapping. So this is requirements traceability metrics. This is the job of the business analyst to prepare this. Okay, work breakdown structure. So let's take an example, simple example. Okay, can you give me an example of a project? Something that you can easily relate with? Okay, let's say celebration in the campus or whatever. Give me some reason for celebration.
A farewell party.
Farewell. Okay. There's a typo. Ignore that. Okay. So what would be the now I'm going to make a tree structure. Give me the highest level of uh,
I did
task.
not get your question, sir.
Okay. What is the top most deliverable out here? Okay. Okay. It's a event. It is a party event, right?
Yes.
Okay. So at the next level, what are you going to do? How are you going to decompose this? Okay. Uh, you're going to make arrangements for catering. Okay. What else?
Sound
Um,
sound system.
Sound system.
Okay. So music
Music.
arrangement.
Decorations.
Yeah. Decoration. What else?
Invitations.
Invitations card.
Okay. Invitation. Uh, is that a high level task? Uh, I don't think it would be a high, it might come under something else. It might come under maybe communication, uh,
Okay.
some, miscellaneous communication or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In the interest of time, I'm not trying to put down very exact things. But now, what would be the task under the catering management?
To select the caterers and the menu.
Okay, identify caterer. uh, choose menu. What else? So maybe if I had done it in a PowerPoint, I could have shown the exact hierarchical structure. But
Like
or
space and resources.
what? Okay, to indicate hierarchy, let me do one thing, which is the standard way of indicating hierarchy. I'll call it one, and then I'll calling it 1.1 and 1.2. Okay, what else? Anything else under catering?
Space,
Yeah.
So budget
space and
constraints.
Okay. Uh, Budget confirmation. Okay, fine. So music arrangement. So this is two, right? So we'll do one more. What are the items under music arrangement? Do you need
Selection of
Sir,
a
speakers.
DJ or someone. Yeah, DJ.
system? I'll just call it systems. One second. What else? You need a again here also you need a vendor, right? Provider,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
provider, and then you'll choose the system. Okay, so this is enough.
Yeah, DJ player.
DJ, I mentioned, yeah, okay, but the idea is clear. That there can be a hierarchy. So within
Okay.
the menu, like for example, if you had to further break down out here, I can just within the
Okay.
brackets I can say 1.2.1 as veg menu and 1.2. Assuming both the choices are there, non-veg menu. So because this is a sheet, I cannot draw much more hierarchy, but
Sir, can under the catering management can service level also can be classified of
yes, you can.
serving the food also.
Yes, you can. But this is a hypothetical example, so I'm just going for
Yes,
limited
sir.
choices.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so dictionary is nothing but all the things that you have listed in WBS that is appears as a list for purpose of reference and with some additional information. A scope baseline. So once that has been defined, then it is frozen and it is called a baseline. So if any further changes are there, after 1 month, then it comes through a change request, and the next version is then again saved. So, for example, now here, Google has introduced versioning. So I can say name current version. So what do I call it? I can just call it 8 September. Okay. So tomorrow, after I make some changes, let us say I make all the changes out here and I delete this and I delete this as well, delete this as well. Everything has been deleted, and now I want to see what was there on my previous version. So see version history. So there is a version here, right? And I selected that. I have no idea why it is in blue color. That must be some, Google thing to indicate that this is a version, but that's fine. And how do I now? Oh, okay. It was to show the changes, so I unchecked this. Okay, I don't need this, and restore this version. Restore this. I got it back. So you may not have had a chance to use versioning, but this is I just demonstrated what versioning does to you. Was that clear to you? how the versioning worked. I can put a timestamp to different versions of my document, and I can refer to a older. So, uh, why do we need to do a change history into a scope document? What can be the practical advantages of that? Why should we have a baseline?
So it gets easier
Why is it easier? Why?
because everything is sorted out now. So we know what is to be done. Like,
There is one more important reason. Why should we have multiple versions for an important document like scope? Of course, the versioning will not be done the way I have done it in the Google Sheet. It will be a different way, but there are it is recommended to have the version. So the scope baseline helps in the project manager uh, referring to the delta changes and then justifying change in the constraints. For example, if a website is being developed and initially 10 screens were identified, 10 pages were identified on that website, and then the customer says, no, I don't
Sir,
need.
Omkar has answered in chat box.
Okay, okay, 1 second. Yeah.
His mic isn't working.
So the changes may cause problems, so we can revert back to a previous version. Okay, this is not in the context of the program being released or application, mobile application being released. Uh, I'm talking in the context of project scope. So now the customer changes the requirements and he says, no, not 10. I want 50 pages on my website. So the work for the project team increases fivefold. Now, unless the project manager can say that my first scope was 10 pages and the second scope was 50 pages, he or she will not be able to justify increase in the manpower or the increase in the time. So either he or she will require 5 times the manpower or the resources, or he or she will require 5 times the original schedule. So if the original work was 1 month, he will now require 5 months. So this is also an example of the scope creep, that from 10 web pages it became 50. And why this happens? Because there was no control, there was no baseline. I mean, if there is a baseline and if it is documented, then the customer knows that increasing the scope will lead to increase in the cost. Okay,
Okay.
read out this as well.
Decomposition, a technique used for dividing and subdividing a project scope and deliverables into smaller, more manageable parts. 100% rule. The total of the work at the lowest level should roll up to a higher level so that nothing is left out and no extra work is performed. Control account. Management control point where scope, budget, and schedule are integrated and compared to earned value for performance comparison. Work package, the lowest level of WBS structure component. Planning package, a WBS component below the control account and above the work package.
Okay, I'll discuss only the first point and then we'll close that class. So
Yes, sir.
decomposition we have already done. Decomposition is you keep dividing your work into smaller and smaller elements. So that is what we did out here.
Yes, sir.
Where is my sheet?
Dividing caterers into other three sub
Yeah,
parts.
part, yeah. The first from the at the high level, we divided the event into four areas, and then catering was divided into three, and then the menu was divided into two. So we keep making it smaller and smaller, so that we can allocate resources for every task. Uh, so we can have one person looking at the veg menu, one person can looking at the non-veg menu, and both of them will work in parallel, so that the overall task is done faster. So if you have sufficient manpower and if you can break it down sufficiently, then there'll be a um, huge, parallel execution. And if it is parallel execution, then the time taken for the project can be drastically reduced. Okay, so we'll close it here, but I'll just show you what
Yes,
I
sir.
meant by. Uh, okay, so now this is what I was saying. There's a definition to the process. So scope management is the process. So definition is given, and then there is a data flow. There's an input. You can see in the title there is an input, and then there's a tools and techniques, and then there's an output. So ITTO, input, tools, techniques, output. These we are ignoring. So though the slides are there, but consider this only as reference material.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but if there is an important output, on a case basis, I'll discuss that. Not otherwise. Okay, so we'll close.
Sir, it's a scheduling part, no, sir.
No, can you come again?
Resource, sir, it's a scheduling part, no, sir. Requirement management planning.
No, it is not. Scheduling is, scheduling management is a different area. So right now,
Okay.
I'll just open this sheet again. Human. Scheduling is this one, project time management. This is in the previous version of Timbuk, it was called time management. Now it is called schedule management.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Bye.
Sir, do you teach Gantt chart?
Gantt chart will be in
Uh,
the schedule management.
yes, sir. Did you teach that?
Yes, we will be doing Gantt chart. Yes.
Sir, also the that what you shown right now, the time related schedule management, also teach again, sir. I missed
No,
that lecture, sir.
no. I have not yet taken the lecture on schedule management. I'll be doing it in
Okay,
future. Yeah. Okay. Channel. Bye.
okay,
If you have
sir.
any
Yes.
more questions, please go ahead. Do you have?
Okay,
Oh,
sir. So I want to learn that two things because, sir, can you teach me the resource material planning, sir? You know about that?
resource material planning. Are you referring to any
Right, sir?
operations management concept?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. I want to just know that. I'm just asking you, did you know about that?
No, no. See, anything which is goes into specific domain like operations or HR, we are not
Okay,
going in depth into those areas. But if it is Gantt chart or
okay.
if it is PERT CPM, yes, that will be part of this course.
Yes, I want to learn how to read the gate chart and how to make
Yes,
it.
yes,
Just
we will do the Gantt chart. Yes.
uh, yeah, there is no depth in the logistic and operations, no, sir. That's
Yeah,
only
we'll do the
overall.
we'll do the Gantt chart. Don't worry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ठीक है. Yeah.
Sir, what is next topic tomorrow is teaching you?
No, we are continuing on the scope management. It is not over.
Okay, sir.
You wanted to attend classes only for the
Thank you, sir.
schedule management?
Sir, I didn't attend previous days, but
Yesterday we
today
had done.
I will attend class.
Yesterday we did a recap of the introduction.
Okay.
Okay, so because
Sir, what are the highlight points we are learning in this course? Sir, all highlight points means we are going to discuss in this course, like scope,
okay, I'll tell you this.
execution of.
Oh, 1 second. I'll show you the syllabus. Where is it? Do I have the syllabus here? No. Okay, the syllabus is 1 second. See, okay, I'll just can you see my screen?
Yes,
Is my screen
sir.
readable to you? Otherwise, I'll just uh, 1 second. I have just created
Read
the
from this
structure.
folder also.
No, no, no. I can show it. So this is what we will be doing. After the introduction, I skipped the integration management for now, but these are the different topics. Can you see these topics? Can you see the topics on my screen? Hello.
And when
1 second. Yeah, I could not hear you.
I see
Can you?
uh,
Oh, your voice is breaking very badly.
okay, I will text on chat, sir.
Yes. Okay. I think you need a better signal strength, but just hear me out. So in the classroom, I have created the different topics, and so these are the topics that we'll be covering. So it is starting with the project management, integration management. I'll take it up later. Then it's scope management, schedule management, which will have the Gantt chart. Then cost management, then resource management,
Okay,
risk management, stakeholder management. Okay,
okay, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.